a culture that's not going to vote for him anyway. So if we get out here and we push for Confederate History Month very, very aggressive, like some other states have got, what would your position on that be? And would you support it? And would you aggressively help us, in other words?
I think that would be a positive thing. I think anything that...
Knowing full well that we're going to be categorized if we do it.
Well, regardless of who has what other organizations or historical groups have, I mean, we have a St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We celebrate all sorts of things.
And
it's something that's a part of our history, is I think ought to be a part of our education. I think anything that teaches the people about the state is good. I like it. Because I'm very proud of South Carolina. I'm not ashamed of it.
And the poor American Indian whose land we took from them, they even got to...
Go ahead. I'm just...
They've even got to prove their identity now to be recognized as a people. What would your position be? And I'm not Indian, but I have very close ties with a lot of the Indian tribes. They are wanting to put a monument on the State House grounds. So we deserve that because we want this little part of the land that was taken from us. I have to agree with them.
Again, that's a part of our history.
Mm-hmm.
Two Knots Road, I think, was so named that I think the Native Americans, the Indians, put the notches on the trees to show the trail, and that's just one small thing. But historical education about history, I think, is not only important; it's vital, and it goes back to your very first questions about the Constitution. The more education, the more people understand where we came from and what exactly it means, the better we'll be.
We got that bill through subcommittee on a unanimous vote. But when it got to full committee, it ran to a roadblock because of a couple of black legislators. And I think we're going to renew our efforts again, but if we had a governor that would support us, it would certainly give us a little bit more steel on our spine.
We just got one more question, and it's probably the answers to this point have been very, very positive for what we're trying to do. This is probably a touchy subject, and we'd just like to hear your opinion on it. There was some controversy several months ago about some contributions that you received from some legal groups within the state of South Carolina. Would you explain that to us?
Sure. That was concerning the Eli Lilly case. I have 70 lawyers, 70 prosecutors and attorneys in the office, and we do not have enough to handle all the work that we have. So as attorneys general around the country do, we hire outside counsel from time to time. And on that particular case, and some others, we have outside counsel who are working on a contingent basis. That is, they get paid nothing unless they win, and if they do, then they get money from the proceeds. The agreement that I have prepared before I utilize that authority to do that is considered the best one in the United States. And it is being, right now, the legislature is, there's a bill pending to adopt the document, the retention agreement for outside counsel that I developed as the law for future attorneys general, and as well, these are tort reform groups and others that are using it as a model for the country. So that case resulted in the largest recovery in South Carolina history. Is $45 million against a drug company that was overcharging the South Carolinians. So that's why I brought the case. They have also, the same drug company was sued by the Department of Justice and others, and which likewise recovered. So they needed to be sued, and they were. The only larger recovery was in the national tobacco litigation that almost all states joined in. This was the second recovery to that. But there was a there was an ethics rule that applied to the attorneys. It doesn't apply to attorneys. It applied to people, vendors, getting contracts and making, with the government, getting tax money and making contributions to those who may have been responsible for giving them those contracts. That question came up in the litigation. The judge said that that rule does not apply to this process that I just described, and he dismissed the motion, threw it out, and sided with us. Nevertheless, I thought that it would be coming up again in future cases, and so we determined that the best thing to do was to just give those contributions back, which we did in order to eliminate that as an issue in future cases. But again, the judge said it was legal. That is the judge handling the case, and it was a great case. It was a great win for the state of South Carolina.
In closing, do you have any questions for us?
No, I just say I'm proud that you're doing what you're doing. I think that the answer for the country is for people who understand the Constitution to teach it to the children, to raise their voices. I believe in citizen participation. I think it's a great strength that we have. And I firmly believe, and have said many times, I think that South Carolina can be a leader and a model for the rest of the country. I think we've got an opportunity in our state, because of a lot of different circumstances, we're in a position to have an enormous impact, to have a good, positive impact on the country by doing the right thing and being a good model. And I think that your efforts are part of that, and I applaud you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your better